and thanks for joining us. Well, today on Arts 24, a roundup of a unique Haute Couture week here in Paris, in the shadow of the biggest sporting and cultural event this summer, the Olympic Games. Well, to stitch this fashion news together, I'm joined by Jennifer Ben Brahim. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Olivia.
Well, the week started with a bang, of course, with the third edition of Vogue World here in the heart of the French capital.
That's right. Great for fashion fans, terrible for anyone with a car, I have to say. And now Vogue World can only be described as a fashion show on steroids, and it was titled 100 Years of French Fashion and Sports. This is really a sartorial time machine that took us from the Paris Olympics of 1924 all the way to present day. There was more than 180 looks, 150 models, and 50 sportsmen and women who took over and really shut down Paris's iconic Place Vendôme. Now, the star-studded front row included the likes of Pharrell Williams, Katy Perry, Jared Leto, as well as performances from French Malian singer Aya Nakamura and Bad Bunny. Let's take a look.
Wow, not holding back with some of those looks there. Well, there were some sports stars on the front row and even on the catwalk.
That's right, including, tennis legends Serena and Venus Williams wearing marine serre and off-white. We also saw the really legendary Olympic track star from France called Marie-Josée Pérec in this very unique tricolore Alaya gown. Also French basketball star who's become NBA legend called Victor Wembanyama. He was in full Louis Vuitton. And now my highlight of the night has to be seeing models Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid, who are really very competent riders or horse girls, trot into Place Vendôme on these Hermès pimped out horses.
Wow, impressive.
Yeah, I wish we could be wearing, Hermès, not these horses. And now the event was organized by Vogue, but with many, friends, collaborators, helping out, such as fashion historian and curator Alexandre Sampson. Now, we actually spoke to France 24 about weaving together fashion and sports with the help of designers from Jacques Mus and Saint Laurent. Take a listen.
So each sport was linked to a decade, starting with 1920s with cyclists, and then we developed having 1930s in track and field, the 1940s with water sports, because in 1946 two French designers invented the bikini, and then of course the 1950s with equestrian, 1960s with fencing, 1970s with gymnastics, 1980s with martial arts, 1990s with football, because in 1998 France won for the first time the World Cup. The year 2000 with tennis, which illustrated the rise of the biggest female stars of tennis of that time, and then we end up with breakdancing for the year 2010.
Fascinating. I must say, I love those little red horse socks. Now, they're not athletes per se, but some of Paris's biggest couture houses have been going for gold as well this season. Tell us more.
Yeah, Olympics fever really has spread across the capital, including during Fashion Week. So much so that the New York Times fashion critic Vanessa Friedman has coined the term Athcouture.
Athcouture,
yeah, very catchy.
After athleisure,
yes.
Of course.
And the most evident was at Dior, with a collection really being a nod to the sporting event, but mainly its Grecian origins. We saw models stomping down a catwalk in flat gladiator sandals, wearing these very loose jersey fabrics draped into asymmetric gowns. Now, a key staple of a Dior show is an art background and celebrating a specific artist each time. This season, it was a turn of a late American designer, Faith Ringgold, who actually passed away just this April. As you can see in those images, there's really these beautiful, colorful mosaics crafted into towering portraits of athletes. Let's take a quick look.
583-717-65116 to 1-800-352-16224-116-234-5286-5416865
Yeah, stunning gowns and stunning portraits to go with them, indeed, from Faith Ringgold. Well, next, it's no surprise that one sporty designer, a former collegiate swimmer, no less, took inspiration from the games as well.
That's right. Now, that's American designer Tom Brown, and he's really previously flirted with sports in his other collections. Even in 2021, he made an Olympics collection where he imagined this really futuristic games in the year 2132, hopefully where the water is maybe cleaner to swim in than what we'll be seeing this Olympics. Now, for his second Haute Couture collection in Paris, he turned the runway into a podium with models wearing white and beige pieces adorned with silver, bronze and gold, a nod to the Olympic medals. And some models even had these very cute little badminton rackets as an accessory.
Not sure that I could do any sports wearing those outfits, but they do look wonderful. Well, the Olympics is taking place across the French capital this summer, and the city's beautiful historical monuments were also front and centre in some of the collections as well.
Yeah, now Chanel stepped away from its usual choice of venue, that of the Grand Palais Museum, to show at the Palais Garnier, which is the home of Paris's Opera Ballet. And now, this is not the only major change at the legendary fashion house. Earlier this month, designer Virginie Viard left Chanel, and her departure was pretty abrupt and unexplained. Now, she'd been at the helm for about 5 years now, since the death of her mentor, Karl Lagerfeld. But according to Chanel bosses, Viard had nothing to do with his Haute Couture collection. But I kind of find it hard to believe that they put together this 46-look collection in just 3 weeks.
Wow.
Without, previous help. Now, in terms of the looks, I wasn't particularly inspired, despite the theme being quite interesting, that of a 19th century theatre.
Okay, so lukewarm review there, I get the feeling. Well, something different now. A French designer, Alexis Mobile, showed off a champagne-fueled collection at the Lido de Paris venue. That's a cabaret theatre best known for burlesque shows. Let's hear from him about the choice of that glamorous location.
The story of the Lido in Paris is absolutely exceptional, and you had girls with feathers, the best people in the world came here to have fun for dinners, parties, etc. So the idea to redo the Lido in the past years was really to recreate a kind of Broadway in Paris, which was missing. That's why the collection is called Champagne. It's all about bubbly situation, feeling, being sparkle, being happy, and even strong and powerful. But to keep in mind, we need to have fun, even if everything is a bit complicated in the world.
Now, Olivia, it was definitely way more fun than Chanel, I have to say. The outfits were very glam, very kitsch. We even saw a very Cher or Bob Mackie-inspired feathered headdress go down the runway. Now, the grand finale saw burlesque icon Dita Von Teese frolic in the namesake of the collection, Champagne. But I'm very pleased to say there was enough champagne for the rest of the guests. It's all good.
That's definitely more soiree than sporty,
Yes.
that collection. Okay, well, someone who is no stranger to Paris Haute Couture Week is British model Naomi Campbell. She's been a fixture on the runway for over 3 decades. Now the Victoria and Albert Museum in London is celebrating her one-of-a-kind career with a solo retrospective. Charlie James tells us more.
One of the original 5 supermodels, the first black model on the cover of French Vogue. Naomi Campbell has always been a trailblazer. Now she's the first model to have a solo exhibition dedicated to her life and style. Naomi in Fashion at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London celebrates Campbell's career, activism, and cultural impact.
I want them to see the workmanship, the creatives that I've gotten to work with over these 4 decades, and the story, the narrative, and to understand me as a person more coming from me.
Across 40 years, Campbell has dominated the fashion world, supported emerging designers, and influenced pop culture. The star loaned clothing from her private collection for the retrospective. Around 80 outfits are on display, including some iconic pieces.
So highlights include things like Yves Saint Laurent dress from 1987, made of white, fluffy bird of paradise feathers. The incredible mock crop blue Vivienne Westwood shoes that she famously tumbled on in the catwalk in 1993. And then also we have on display the Dolce & Gabbana dress that she wore to leave community service.
That was the week in 2007 Campbell spent cleaning up a New York City sanitation garage as punishment for hurling a cell phone at her housekeeper. Campbell's softer side is featured too, such as her close relationship with Tunisian-born designer Azzedine Alaya, whom she called Papa. Spanning her childhood to her icon status, Naomi in fashion charts the highs, lows, and style moments that mark a superstar career.
Well, Naomi in fashion is running at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London until April 6th, 2025. Well, back to Haute Couture Week here in Paris. And before we finish, tell us about some of your favourite shows.
So Dutch designer Iris van Herpen's collection was definitely what you could call picture perfect, as you'll see in those images there. She hung her models on the wall like works of art, and she actually called the designs aerial sculptures, and really was this perfect marriage between painting, sculpture and textiles. I just really hope that the models weren't left hanging up there for too long. Now my other favourite show is Balenciaga. Now the show attracted a surprising amount of celebrity mother-daughter duos. I'm not sure what's going on this year.
Multi-generational.
Yeah, with Nicole Kidman, Naomi Watts, and comedian Maya Rudolph being accompanied by their teenagers. What lucky teenagers.
Lucky them, yeah.
Now, Fashion Week can often be very stressful, very busy, very noisy. So Balenciaga designer Demna made the very smart choice to pair his conceptual structural pieces with a soundtrack of guided meditation.
Oh, wow. That sounds like the perfect way to wind down after a frenetic week of fashion. Well, thank you very much for the roundup, Jenny. We'll leave you with the soothing sounds and sights at the Balenciaga show here in Paris. Remember, you can get more fashion news as well as arts and culture on our website and our social media. See you here next time on Arts 24.
Hello and welcome. In today's meditation session, we will learn how to create a path towards a happier life. Let's start in a comfortable seated position with a relaxed posture. When you're ready, you can close your eyes and begin with some deep breaths.